Hey y'all, welcome back to this week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, Recruiting in Yoga Pants. All right, so this week I'm going to try to answer a question that I brought upon myself. I posted recently about encouraging candidates, job seekers, people of LinkedIn to follow less recruiters. I said it. And what I meant to say, thank you to those who corrected me, both privately as well as publicly. Follow fewer recruiters. Less, fewer. Anyway. Follow fewer recruiters. And I got a lot of questions about it. I gotta tell you, this was very much a throwaway comment. I was not even being all that serious. I was just kind of having a moment where recruiters were really, oh boy, they were being a little unhinged. It was a sight to see. God forbid we bring up hoodies again. Oh boy, nope, don't do it. Don't do it. And I don't even, okay, I'm gonna bring it up. I don't even care, there were a handful of posts about this, and I don't care. I think we all agreed at the end of it, interview dress code varies, nuances to all of it, that's fine. But some of the comments were absolutely insane. Not the original post, the comments. I cannot get past the recruiter who literally doubled down on comparing wearing a hoodie to having dirty fingernails and messy hair. Couldn't be me. And here's the thing, y'all. Here's this whole list of, hundreds of comments, right? And multiple posts and spinning off in all directions. Every recruiter had an opinion. And oh my God, you were going to hear it. Right? And there's disagreements, and well, you're wrong, and no, and you're wrong, and well, what about, and who cares? Blah. I mean, it went out of control, okay? It went real sideways real fast. And that's why my reaction, I was like, I gotta get out of this. This is too far. No longer having a good time. Y'all follow fewer recruiters, okay? Save yourselves. And so that sparked a lot of questions. So Amy, why should I follow fewer recruiters? One gentleman, which I thought was really interesting, so props to this fella, he made a good point that, look, if I follow fewer recruiters, I'm going to be exposed to fewer opportunities. Well, now that you mention it, right? I mean, that was a good call out, and I totally understand where this person's coming from. But I also, as I kind of thought through it, was like, okay, but how many of those opportunities are really right for you? This is what we need to think about. So I was able to kind of distill this down into 3 ideas, for lack of a better term, 3 filters, if you will, right? What am I going to kind of think about before I hit connect or follow or what have you? So number 1, and I think this is the most important, especially from an opportunity perspective. Am I following, engaging with, and connecting to recruiters who could potentially hire someone like me? That to me is going to be the most critical. Those are the people that I'm going to want to make sure I am tracking. They might be posting jobs. They might be sharing insights about their labor market. They might be a good source of information, interview best practices, compensation, of course, opportunities we've talked about, all of those things. So recruiters who are in my field or, hiring people like me, highly, highly, highly interested in maintaining those connections and following those people. The second kind of person, this is where I hope I will be. I won't be offended if you disagree, because I understand I'm not for everybody. But is this a recruiter who shares helpful content? I like to think I do. I mean, that's why I work so hard on these videos every week and post as much as I do, because I have learned a ton about hiring and recruiting over 26 years. I do have my finger on the pulse of the market and hiring best practices and all the things. Like, I'm absolutely a lifelong student of recruiting, and I always will be. And I try to share what I learn with all of you. I don't try to give you the answers. I try to give you insights and the right questions to ask. That is key for me. So if I'm out there looking for recruiters to follow, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people who have their own earned professional expertise, are willing to share it. I don't like that gate-kept, comment bullshit in the comments and I'll DM you a super secret. No. And I get it. Your time and expertise is valuable, and if you want to sell coaching services or whatever, you can do that. But this fake, comment blah 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 to DM. No. You got something to share, just share it. Don't. Ugh, that's just gross. Anyway, we're gonna get to that in number 3. So number 2 is the person or the recruiters that I feel like have something valuable to share and are willing to share it and engage with the audience. Okay? So that's important to me. The third kind of person, or the third filter, I should say. So let's recap. So number 1, recruiters in my industry may potentially have a job I could fill. Number 2, recruiters who are willing to share their expertise and actually are speaking truthfully and honestly, and their content is validated and backed up. Look, I post a lot about ATSs, for example. Have you ever seen an actual working recruiter with access to an ATS argue with me? I haven't. Seen a lot of people cosplaying as coaches or recruiters arguing with me. So far, to the best of my knowledge, recruiters who are actually working recruiters, generally speaking, we're on the same page. So that's important. Does this person know what they're talking about? Is this validated? Can this be backed up? Do I have some confidence that this is trustworthy information? Cool. I'll keep following that person, even if they're not my immediate, most critical follow. Maybe there's a larger secondary circle that I'll follow. Third filter, is this person toxic? Now let me clarify. This toxicity goes both ways. There are people who are just absolute nightmares, and they talk badly about others on social media. They name names. They're tagging people's employers. Not that I've ever experienced anything like this, but there are people who feel like they can only boost themselves by trying to tear down someone else. That is not the kind of energy that I want to be exposed to. I don't care if I agree with them or not. I don't care if they're right or not. Maybe that person is a complete ass. Well, then let them be. You don't need to say their name. You don't need to go on some kind of crazy witch hunt. Just block, mute, unfollow. It doesn't have to be this awful, toxic witch hunt. So when someone is behaving like that and is overly negative and overly insulting and overly tearing down anyone that they disagree with or don't like, that's toxic. I don't want that energy. I don't want that invading my mindset if I'm an active job seeker. But the other side of the toxicity is the toxic positivity. So these are the people who are quick with, a fun saying or a relatable quote, like, oh, just believe in yourself. I know your yes is coming. Where? Right? And I don't mean, we love positive people, okay? We don't like negative people. We love positive people. I love that. But if their entire content strategy is like patting you on the head and telling you that everything's going to be okay, I don't know. I think I'd rather follow the angry dude who hates everybody. I don't know. Just kidding. I don't want any part of either of them. There's no value there. Okay? And if I'm going to invest my energy, my time, my reading moments on social media on these people, I want them to be someone that can help me get where I'm trying to go, career-wise. Someone that has valid and helpful information. And someone that's not blowing sunshine up my skirt or tearing others down. That's my filter. That's what I care about. And here's the thing. When you reduce the number of people that are chirping in your ear, you get to focus on the quality of your interactions. If you're following fewer recruiters, you're following the right recruiters, the right hiring managers, the right industry professionals, the right, why not, the right influencers. If you are getting something of value out of those interactions and you're focusing on the ones that really do have good things or helpful things or relevant things to share, you can now start spending more time interacting with those people, continuing to build on those relationships, and increasing the quality of those connections, which might actually lead to your next job. That's my thoughts. I'd say that's my 2 cents, but I feel like that's about $1.50 in content right there. So I hope that helps answer the question. I really didn't think about it a ton until people started asking, and then I felt like I better explain myself. So I'm glad I did. I'm glad I got a chance to really think about what was I trying to say? What was the subconscious thought there when I posted that? And yeah, I feel good about what we just shared. So anyway, longer than I thought it would be, but you know what? I hope it helps. I hope it gave you something to think about. If my follower count drops drastically after this video, thankfully, it will not affect my paycheck. So y'all do what is right for you. I do hope you found some value in this video and all the rest that I've worked so hard on over the years. As always, appreciate you watching, and we will see you next week.